Ichiro-san, my good man.
Takahashi, how the hell you doing?
Well, you know what? I got. I'm in a bit of a bind here. Okay. Well, there's a new Godzilla movie that came out there.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we need to respond with another Gamera movie. It only makes perfect sense for us to answer in kind. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The only problem is we took a real bath last year as far as finances go, so we don't have a whole lot of cash to get this thing done.
Listen, Charlie needs his paychecks. I know you say he doesn't do anything, but he needs his paychecks.
It's fun. Yeah, I know Charlie is a good kid. He does good work. I'm glad his mother made us hire him. But what I'm getting at here is that we probably only have enough for about maybe, 45 minutes to maybe, 50 of new footage.
I've got a solution.
I'm all ears, my friend.
As you know, we can't really release a 45-minute Gamera movie.
Well, it's not a feature film at that length.
It's a television special, of which we are not experts.
Best. No, not at all.
So what I was thinking is we just make a Gamera movie. We got all all of the Gamera monster footage. We just slap that in there.
Gauss and
new stuff.
Yeah, Baragon. Yeah,
Bob goes.
You're right.
Uncle.
I actually heard that if it contains over 50% new footage, it counts as a new film.
Yeah,
I think we could probably do this, and we could even put in some stuff from the first Gamera movie, pad it out even longer.
Oh wait, there's a problem.
What's that?
That first Gamera movie, we're gonna shoot the thing in color, and that first Gamera movie is in black and white.
Oh, you're right there.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh, well, close up shop. We're closing up
Nope.
business.
I got it. No. Don't send the secretary home yet there, Ishiro-san.
Sheila, come back.
Tell her to come back, okay? Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to tint the print blue. So it'll look like it's in color. It'll fool them. They won't know the difference. Boom. There you go. You know what? I say blue tinted, green lighted. Once that thing hits the theater, you know what happens.
That's when the money rolls in.
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Hey everybody, welcome back to What Were They Thinking, a podcast about bad to questionable movies. Although I feel again I thought I was on for Screen and Country because again, perfect movie, no notes. But Brendan's gonna make me talk about this. I am Nathan. With me here, as always, is the Gauss to my Gamera. Brendan, introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, I like how you paint yourself as like the tortured soul that was made to throw mockery at this movie. When it is indeed a movie you picked for this podcast. I just want to put that out there.
It's November. We have to do a Gamera film.
Yes, the Gauss, as they say. Yeah, this is a movie. We've done how many of these bad boys now? Like 6, 5, 12?
Let's see. This would be...
I guess this is 6 because it's our 5th year,
one.
And we did one in the first one. Yeah, because 1 year. Yeah, it's 6. I think it's 6.
Yep.
There you go. And still no Gamera Super Monster, your favorite one.
It's gonna be the last one. I swear to God, the last one we ever do.
Fair enough.
Here's hoping they put out a new Gamera movie sometime between now and when they make the last one. Between now and when we get around to that whole thing, because that way we can extend it out another year. But
and when was the last, the most recent Gamera movie?
It would have been Gamera the Brave, aka Son of Gamera, and I think that was somewhere around like 2003-ish.
Okay.
I'm a fan, not a super fan. I will, cards on the table, I do watch these movies to get a good laugh, so.
What?
But yes, we are talking about the Dai classic Gamera versus Viras this year. Or Destroy All Planets?
Yeah.
Or Destroy All Monsters?
I think Destroy All Monsters is like a Godzilla movie, isn't it? Or like a movie with like Godzilla and King Kong and shit.
No, that's like all Monsters Attack or some horseshit. Give me a second. We do a lot of research here. I'm not the person that does it though.
Neither am I. So
what we're saying is that Milos had a more janitorial work to do than research for us.
Well, he's actually taking a sick day today. He's still like here, but he's taking a sick day.
Shouldn't he be self-isolating?
He is in the sick room.
Okay.
I pass him crushed up chips under the door every 20 minutes.
Oh, he likes it that way.
He does.
All right, so
wait, he's not even sick.
Gamera versus Viras is the 1968 March 20th, 1968, and it was followed by one that we've already covered, Gamera versus Guiron.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking for the alternate title here. It was released in the U.S. as Destroy All Planets.
Yeah. So Destroy All Monsters is another thing.
Yeah. So there you go.
So
those are the interesting tidbits.
If anyone was waiting for that answer,
you got it. Nice and
buried
early.
the lead early.
Yeah. Okay. So plot. It's a Gamera movie, so the plot's pretty basic. This one involves aliens again, just like Gamera versus Guiron from a couple years ago.
Didn't the shark knife dog one have aliens too?
That's Guiron.
Oh, that's Guiron. Okay.
Yeah. And so this one but the aliens in this one actually make an active advance on Earth right out of the gate. They're in Earth's orbit. Their plan is to take over Earth because it's most similar to the the planet that the folks with Viras are from.
Yeah. Which is a way of saying, look, we didn't have any money, so they're just people, okay? There's nothing special. They just look like people.
There's a fun twist about that later. Anyhow, this happens to coincide with a Boy Scout jamboree at an oceanic research institute, because why not? And we got a couple of plucky young Boy Scouts, Jim and what's the other kid's name?
I don't know, Squeegee? I don't know.
It's not Itchy. I know that.
Frumpy, Scumpy, Lumpy, Dumpy. I'm just naming all the Chewbacca 7 dwarves.
Misao.
Mumpy. Stumpy.
These are rejected dwarves, not Gamera characters.
Yeah, they're Chewbacca dwarves.
It's Misao, Jim and Misao, the two plucky young Boy Scouts in Japan.
Chewbacca and the 7 dwarves. That's my favorite.
Right. It's like the Star Wars holiday special.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Okay, so anyways, Jim and Misao, a couple of pranksters who run afoul of these aliens, and of course, Gamera is there to protect not only the planet but also the boys. He has to lay waste to the spaceships, which then in turn releases the Kraken, a giant kaiju squid. I guess known as Viras, although by the dialogue it's also where the aliens are from. It's really not super clear. But hilarity ensues.
It sure does.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Maybe it's like... Well, maybe that's it. Maybe it's meant to be like Gamera versus the planet Viras.
I guess.
But
it
in
actually
that case,
says...
it should have been a turtle fighting a planet then.
But no, the literal translation of the Japanese title is Gamera versus Outer Space Monster Viras.
Oh, wow! They
So
make sure you get it with that title.
yes, they really do. It's the fourth film in the Showa series. So like all the original Gamera. So this would have went Gamera, then Gamera versus Baragon, and then Gauss, and then this one here.
And then Gamera versus Kramer, Gamera versus Jason,
Gamera versus Predator, Gamera versus Alien. Yeah. Well, technically, this is Gamera versus Alien. So
Gamera versus Terminator, Gamera versus Joan Crawford. Oh, Gamera versus Mommy Dearest would be pretty good, though, I gotta say.
Whatever happened to Baby Gauss? All right. Anyways, let's get to this thing. We open up, of course, like every great Gamera film, with the Dai logo and aliens from the Bumblebee sector. Apparently,
I noted that their ship looked like Madonna's boobs by way of Beetlejuice.
okay. See, you say that. Both Patty and I were like, they look like 5 bumblebee butts stuck together on a circle.
I just thought they looked like a bunch of Beetlejuice boobs.
These of course are the this is the, I guess it's almost like the opening text scroll, but no text. It's all voice. We get the idea of what these aliens are going to be doing. They're talking about how they're going to be, they're going to take over planet Earth because it has it's so much like there is. We get all kinds of nifty oxygen facts about Earth and what it contains, and this is why they're taking it over. And all the while they're doing this, they're unbeknownst to them, Gamera is there to thwart their plans because he already knows what's going to happen, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he starts wreaking havoc on the spaceship, which, of course, he destroys it, and they say he has breached it. Cut it off.
Yeah, he sticks his head. He smashes through the spaceship and sticks his head as to say like,
says, "Here's Gamera."
Yeah, what up? I feel like, of course, again, me thinking that these are boobs, I thought Gamera was just really horny.
Oh, he's like motorboating, eh? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
Like a virgin.
So this first spaceship is destroyed. However, they do manage to send out a distress call and a warning that Gamera, they know his name and everything, is there to protect Earth. The first mission is a failure. Send more. And then we get the intro title and Gamera.
I was really hoping that one of them was gonna slowly pull up a radio and be like, "Send more aliens."
All right. So we get the Gamera theme song, and then we smash cut to the Oceanside Boy Scout Jamboree.
Literally, the kids are Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Like you have these, we gotta make these kids as pure as possible. Okay, how about they're basically like Boy Scouts. Wait, why not just make them Boy Scouts? Okay.
I'm pretty sure we could probably find some sort of tax write-off this thing if we actually include the Boy Scouts of Japan, which they did. I don't know if they get the tax write-off, but I think they actually did get like the Boy Scouts of Japan to go along with this thing.
Well, hopefully they were better than the 1968 Boy Scouts of America.
Oh, well, it's not as good as the last Boy Scout, though.
No, well, he was the last one because, I mean, he was already like a 38-year-old man. They were like, come on, Bruce Willis, you can't be a Boy Scout forever.
Hang up the sash.
He's like, but I just got one more badge to earn. I really want to get my typing.
It's at this Boy Scout Jamboree that we meet our plucky young heroes, Misao and Jim.
Misao and
who,
Jim.
yep, Misao and Jim, and of course these little pranksters, they like to sneak off into the International Ocean Research Institute, as you know, most mischievous young kids do.
And intentionally sabotage submarine controls that could potentially kill someone.
Well, I mean, given the way that the dubbing explained as to they did it, I don't think would have done anything except maybe fry the battery, because all he did was change the positive and negative leads on the battery. That doesn't affect the controls at all. But
Wait, are
he
you
says if we yes, I am questioning
the
this.
science in this movie.
Yes, the one with the giant turtle, with the jets coming out of his legs, fighting the huge outer space kraken. Yeah, I'm questioning the science on this one.
I'm not following.
They have this idea that because they apparently Misao is super familiar with experimental submarines. He knows that if you switch the battery leads, it'll change the controls on the sub, and instead of going forward you go backward, and instead of going up when you want to go up you go down. Not how batteries work. He just would have killed the battery and they would have had to fix the sub.
But Nathan, it does allow for a wacky scene.
Oh my god.
Which I feel like it lasted so long.
Before that, he did that. We find out that apparently Misao invented the smartwatch.
Yeah. What was that? I was like, hold on.
He's got a cell phone wristwatch in 1968.
This movie knew what was coming.
They play it off as like a walkie-talkie radio type thing that only him and his sister are on that frequency, but I don't know, man. This seems an awful lot like a cell phone to me.
I just think it's funny because it's like they play it off as such a crazy thing that he would have invented, and now it's like, yeah, I got
everybody.
One of those.
Yeah, all kinds of folks got those things. And then yes, it's quite windy out when they manage to get out of the sub. So windy that it takes Misao's hat and flies it 20 feet up into the air and plops it perfectly down on top of a flagpole.
Yeah, in a way that doesn't look like someone took it and placed it up there.
Right. The hat is now a flagpole sitter.
Oh,
paranoia! Everybody's coming to get me.
Yeah, that hat had visions. He was in them. He was looking into the
mirror. All right. Luckily, Jim was there with his trusty lasso, because he's American. He's a cowboy. He knows how to use a lasso. He manages to lasso perfectly Jim's hat from the flagpole, so they can get his hat back and he can get back to the Boy Scout Jamboree, because he's been threatened. If he doesn't get back there, no supper for him tonight.
I feel like he is a stereotypical American. Like, if he could be wearing American face, it would be this kid.
He is American.
He's wearing cowboy face.
No, he's an American.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's like when they put. No, you know what? I don't want to compare it to real, actual offensive stereotypes. But it's like, if that was offensive, which it's not, because everyone, you're fine. It would be like the opposite. You know what I mean? It's just like what does an American do? I don't know. Apple pie and lassos and cowboys.
It's actually, if you do want to draw a comparison to it, it's like Gidi Watanabe having to play Long Duck Dong.
I don't think
he's Asian and he has to put on the shitty accent and be dumb. Okay, in this movie, the kid who plays Jim is American. He is a white dude and has to pretend to be like a cowboy and doesn't know technology, and Misao is the smart guy.
In this case, though, I think one of those stereotypes is far more harmful.
Far more harmful, yes, indeed. But moving on. So, we get time for like almost like a swinging kooky number under the sea, because they take the adults take the submarine under the sea, and it's going all haywire. But to let you know everything's safe, they've got this like kind of like cheesy crooner type music go So you know that these guys are safe and sound, but unfortunately, because they think that the sub is now malfunctioning, they can't take it out. Sorry, kids. All you kids who came here for the Boy Scouts of Japan Boy Scout Jamboree at the International Oceanic Institute, you're not going to get to ride on the experimental pocket sub because their controls don't work. But then Jim and Misao interrupt, and Misao is basically saying, "You know what? No, I can do that. I can use your experimental sub. I know all kinds of things about technology." And the doctor's like, "No, it's unsafe. The controls aren't working the way we expect them to work." And it could be very dangerous for us to even use it, let alone Boy Scouts. So no, which is the appropriate response.
Mm-hmm.
And what follows is not the appropriate response because Jim and Misao, Boy Scouts, maybe 13 years old, managed to convince these doctors with PhDs at the International Oceanic Research Institute to let them take the experimental pocket sub, which probably cost millions of dollars in 1968 money to make, let them take it out for a spin while the controls are malfunctioning.
And it's also in just before they
I
do
feel that Gamera should have immediately stepped in and killed those doctors. If he was legitimately a friend of all children, he should have stepped in and stopped that from happening.
I wish Gamera had done like those G.I. Joe safety commercials where he just comes in and he's like, "Whoa, doctor, I don't think these kids are can ride this submarine. Maybe they should take a course first."
That's right, Gamera.
Why does Gamera sound like that? There's also just before they go out in the submarine, I think the person who was dubbing this particular character was running late and wanted to get home before supper because she just says quickly, I swear she says, "He has a genius for a practical joke," and then gets like cut off right there. And I was like, wait, what? Come again? What?
Yep. And because he has a genius for practical joke, and he designed the Apple smartwatch, apparently, they're like, "Okay, well, hop in, kids, off to your watery grave. That's cool." And they, of course, get in the boat. They get in this pocket sub, and they know how to work it because they're the ones who reverse the controls, and are just going along just fine. Meanwhile, while this is going on, the Bumblonians from the Bumbleax sector show up again.
Yep.
And they're now here with their Plan B. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Because they look like bumblebee butts.
Plan Bumblebee.
Plan B. B-E-B-C, yeah.
Yep.
Anyhow. So, okay. They show up. They're setting up their attack. The kids are under the water, and they encounter Gamera.
And they race Gamera to the Gamera
they race
theme
him,
song.
Right, and they want to take pictures of him and everything like that. Even some blue pictures when you get right down to it, because at one point they're like, "Go under his shell and take a picture." Like, what are you guys doing taking turtle dick shots in the middle? Like, I thought you guys were supposed to be Boy Scouts, paradigms of virtue.
Nathan, it's research.
Penis shots.
It's research.
Yeah, right.
That's
right.
hold on a second. You're telling me that X Hamster is not as good as like, I don't know, Encyclopedia Britannica?
I'm just saying that there's clinical research, and then there's like what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Listen, that's the only way I want to see bananas.
Right. Shotting out of things.
Shotting.
Yeah. So, we get that they're taking the shots, and I have a note here that says "Shame-face Gamera."
I don't know, but
I think it was because after the boys slid out from underneath him and they took pictures, I think he knew what they were doing, and he felt ashamed, but he needed that money to get through college.
right.
Right? And they swore, those kids swore to him that those pictures not going to be seen by anybody in Japan. They're just going to sell them to websites in North America.
Has Gamera ever fought a rabbit kaiju? Because if not, that's a lost opportunity.
He has not, actually.
I don't understand. No. They could have done a whole race. They could have the rabbit kaiju could have underestimated Gamera, and then he just kind of truds along to the finish line, and then they have their fight.
Or throws on the old turtle jets in the legs and shoots past him.
I just like to think that even though he has that power, he just kind of chugs along.
So the aliens, they see all this happening, and they see Gamera there. They're like, we need to send out the super catch ray, which is just this dome to put over top of Gamera so he can't move, and that they can, I guess, read his memories and his past. Just so be prepared right now, folks. Get ready for some padding.
A little bit.
Yeah, because we get clips a la an episode of The Golden Girls or Night Court from past episodes, and it goes on. You get to see basically just about every fight in Gamera versus Baragon and Gamera versus Gauss.
I went like I scrubbed across the video player to see. It's like legitimately 10 minutes. Legitimately 10 minutes. This movie becomes Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 for 10 minutes.
Yep. And then for a little bit later on, too.
Yeah, a lot of the Gamera footage later when he's quote-unquote destroying the city is just like mostly footage from other Gamera movies.
It's from the first Gamera movie.
Because in the first one,
just the first Gamera movie.
Was he a villain in the first one?
Well, he was, I guess, not a villain. He was more like the way Godzilla, you would put him as a villain. I guess he's really more of a misunderstood monster. Okay. It's not his fault that, he was, born out of radiation and is so big that he can't fit into a regular city.
Fit into a regular city? Wait a second.
Right.
Wait, cities are usually Gamera-sized?
No, he can't. He can't fit into like a regular city because he's so big.
Oh, he needs like super cities.
He would have to.
Yeah.
If he was alive in Judge Dredd's time, fit in perfectly fine. Okay. Mega cities, he would fit right in.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna make a Pizza Hut reference, but I think that's Demolition Man.
That is Demolition
Man. Or Taco
Bell. Taco Bell.
Whichever version you watch.
No, it was Taco Bell, and the Pizza Hut. I remember product placed for Pizza Hut in Back to the Future 2.
Well, no, Judge Dredd, Judge Dredd, or not Judge Dredd. Fuck, Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
It's one restaurant, but then if you watch the international version, it's a different restaurant.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So I think it's like Taco Bell.
Interesting tidbit.
There you go. It's a tidbit that's interesting. I think it's like Taco Bell in one place and then Pizza Hut like everywhere else, or vice versa. It's something like that.
No, I think it's. I'm guessing it would be Taco Bell in North America because that's the one I saw.
It must be.
I didn't know about the Pizza Hut thing.
Or maybe that's the Canadian. Maybe it's just like in the States is Pizza Hut. I think that might be it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a movie that it's not this movie, so continue.
Yeah, right. Gamera versus Viras. So they use the super catch ray. We see the him versus Baragon and him versus Gauss, which this happens all the time in our movies where the movies reference better movies. And let's see here. Okay, so as the I guess it starts wearing off. The energy from the super catch ray, Gamera is able to reach under the dome and lift it up and let the kids out.
At which point you can see it's like just a plastic sheet.
Yes. They just kind of squirt on out there. Okay, so the kids they get out, but then they're immediately captured because the aliens have this idea that they're going to hold these two kids ransom or hostage for get Gamera to behave for them. They're like, if you don't do what we say, if you attack our ship, we're gonna kill these 2 kids.
Right.
Okay, I feel in this case that Gamera, being who he is, guardian of the universe, I know he's friend to all children, but I feel that he should be able to say 2 versus the entire planet.
Yes, thank you. Also, spoiler alert, when they get him to literally start destroying buildings later, it's like, okay, but Gamera would be killing multiple children.
Way more kids in these scenes, yeah.
Also, you know what makes no fucking sense is that their whole thing is we're going to take these kids to make Gamera do what we want because he doesn't want these kids to die. Why do they then also have to put like a brain control device on him? Like that's just like
that actually made me I had to laugh so hard when I saw that when they threw that brain control device on him. I actually noted. So is Gamera Hasidic or Rastafari now? Because I couldn't tell with the hat in the head. Like it looked like a yarmulke, but it could also have been a Rasta hat.
I just speaking of hats, it just felt like a hat on a hat to me. Like, why are we doing both things? just decide on one.
Well, I don't know. Like it does seem like if they were just holding them at ransom, they should just be able to do that. But maybe it's to override Gamera's higher brain function, where he would go, 2 kids versus the entire planet. Sorry, kids. I'll send your parents a nice ham, and destroys the spaceship.
Yeah.
So, if he was gonna send a ham, I guess that means he's a Rastafari, not Hasidic. So we also find out that the spaceship, the Viras spaceship, is manned by the line cooks of the damned. These guys all look like line cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had tunics on and little hats so their hair doesn't get in the food and stuff like that. And how they go from one bumble iron ball to the other in the spaceship. They fly down the corridor. But you have to be an alien to fly down the corridor, because as Jim and Misao find out, if you try to fly down the corridor when you're not an alien, you just fall flat on your face.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was stupid. I was like, wait, why did you think that was going to work? Oh, my God, they shoot lasers out of their eyes. Let me try. What the hell?
Idiots.
It's a long tradition of the kids being the worst part of these movies.
Well, and then to further that, there's another section where they're in these rooms because they're exploring the spaceship, trying to get an idea of what these aliens are all about, and something happens on one side of the room, and they have to go check it out, and they're supposed to run to it, but it was almost like they were running on the spot.
Yeah.
To make it look like, I guess, to make it look like the room was bigger, but when you see the kid run, you're like, he's just running on the spot. That's it. First time running. Good job, buddy. Way to go.
First
Way
time
to go.
too many legs.
Yep. They're hungry. So they start thinking about food, and the ship gives them food. And it's
Nathan,
not unlike.
I think if a spaceship just randomly gave me food, a spaceship with aliens that kidnapped me, my first instinct would be to eat it without hesitation.
Yeah, that's that's a smart decision, Brendan.
Thanks.
Because that's what these guys do, and I'm pretty sure that's what the kids did in Gamera versus Guiron, because something very similar happens too. Remember the donuts and all that?
Yeah, this is all. Yeah, like not only is there a lot of like footage they reuse, but this is almost the same plot.
That you can put that accusation on the movie that comes after this, because Gamera versus Guiron came after this. So
well,
this
either
is
way,
actually an original plot for that.
Someone's at fault, and no one's getting any dinner until they come forward and admit it.
So they have some automat sandwiches and some juice, and they're like, oh, if we think about it, the ship's gonna give it to us. So Jim and Misao are like, we want an apple and a pear, because if we ask for an apple and a pear, they'll give us a knife to cut it with. And they don't. They give them perfectly, peeled and cut apples and pears, which
Yeah.
I don't know how the Bumbleaxians got the perfectly cut apples and pears, but it is then explained to them by one of the line cook of the damned that if the ship will give them anything, but if anything that they're thinking of will hurt the ship or the line cooks of the damned, the ship won't give it to them. It'll override their thought, which I feel is going to come into play a little bit later when the ship does not do that.
So, yeah, and two things. First thing, why did they assume that when they asked for an apple, they would get a knife to cut it with? You can eat an apple just like an apple, you fucking idiots. Number two, so you're saying that they won't give them anything that they use to hurt the aliens or the ship. So if John Wick was on that ship, he wouldn't get anything because he can kill you with a pencil.
Right. But, I mean, I feel that if they kidnapped John Wick, I mean, even if he didn't have anything, he'd probably still destroy. So the best bet for these guys to survive John Wick is just to leave him alone.
Right. There would be that scene where they called their alien commander, and for some reason it's that dude from Fargo that's in everything, and he's like, "You fucked with John Wick." Oh,
Peter Stormare?
yeah, that's the guy.
Okay. Oh, you are really fucked now.
Yeah. He killed the guy with a fucking pencil. God, those movies are so fucking good.
Right? But Gamera versus Viras.
Yeah.
I thought it was really kind of dumb that when we first kind of see the line cooks of the damned, we don't see their faces, but they do have glowing eyes.
Oh yeah, that's
And their
straight
eyes
up
are-
Village of the Damned. They like blink.
They blink every time they talk,
Yep.
and then they stop blinking. Like fucking Teddy Ruxpin or something.
Yeah, it was like real weird.
Yeah. So the pair plan was a bust. These kids are just dumb as all get out. And at one point they have this idea that they're gonna lasso one of the aliens and I don't know, capture him, I guess, and Jim's there with his lasso, and he lassos the guy, and he's pulling on him, and the alien's like, "Oh, hey kid, need a hand?" So the hand comes off and flies out and pins him up against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the aliens are like, then, well, you know what? We can't let you move about. We're gonna strap you to the wall. And they strap them to the wall that's supposed to look like, I guess, a metal strapping that's keeping them in place. But thankfully, I watched this on a completely restored Blu-ray edition, which looks pristine, but also makes you see that the restraints look like they're made of, I don't know, like the kind of material that you would see on like a sliding shower door, and the edges are taped down with duct tape to give it that metal silver look.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, is what
You
you're
can see
saying.
you can see the bubbles in the tape and everything.
Yeah, it's like when you
really
put a
terrible.
decal on and you don't have it down quite right.
Right, and it just bubbles up just a little bit.
Before they get stuck to that wall, Nathan, they run into fucking well, we'll say, I guess he's Viras, but the squid thing. And
Yeah.
the first thing they say is like, well, they're basically saying like, it nods or whatever. And they're like, see, it's nodding
Yeah.
to us. That must mean it wants to help us. It could probably help us get out of here. What are you talking about? It's nodding, so it must be a friend. How are these children alive and they haven't been like kidnapped and sold into fucking child slavery before this time?
Like I said, these kids are just dumb as all get out.
Holy Moses.
We cut to Gamera going on his rampage because they want him to like destroy, an electrical plant and that, and then all this, he smashes the wall and all this water comes out, and all I thought was, damn.
So you became Ron Simmons for a moment. Got it in.
Yep, there you go. And
He literally murders he probably kills thousands of people at this point.
my favorite thought about this is that at this point, Gamera's under mind control, but he's also doing this under duress because he knows if he doesn't, these aliens are going to kill these 2 kids. So he destroys a dam that's probably going to flood an entire village and kill hundreds of people.
Yeah, it makes no sense, and it's a hat on a hat.
And I just imagine his inner monologue going, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, damn guys. They're going to kill these 2 kids if I don't do this.
The guy that he's killing is like, I have 6 kids at home.
But they're not. They haven't been captured by these aliens. I'm so sorry.
Oh, but it's take your kids to work day.
Well, I got to go destroy Tokyo now.
I like, Gamera's a real bad boy in this movie.
Well, Gamera's a real bad boy in the first movie because all this footage is from the first movie and it's just tinted blue.
Yeah. And by bad boy, just want to clarify for everybody listening, I mean like BOI, so it's serious.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. I know everyone was wondering what kind of boy I meant.
So Gamera, he goes and he starts destroying Tokyo.
You mean he did
the boys
years before this movie?
Years before this movie came out, and we just cut to some footage of it.
Right.
The boys managed to wriggle free of their captors because the line cooks of the dam are also fucking idiots too, I guess. They managed to get out, and we find out there's some fantastic cell reception inside this spaceship because Misao is able to get a hold of his sister on his pocket watch to let her know where they are and what's going on.
Now, do you think Jim suspiciously sounds a lot like Tim, as in Tim Cook? Do you think he stole this idea?
It's like, I've got it.
And then Steve Jobs stole it from him, and then when Steve Jobs died, he was like, I get my idea back, finally.
I just played the long game. That's what I did.
Wow. He's had a crazy life. Wait, I thought his name was Tim Apple.
Tim Apple. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, because he runs Apple, right?
Yeah, that must be
Has to be his last name.
Exactly.
Just like, right.
Just like Dumbass must be the other guy's last name.
Exactly. So they not only do they hide the black and white footage with a terrible blue tint, but we also get to see some footage from the first Gamera movie through the I guess the scope of the spaceship, and they just added a red filter to it. Awful how padded this
$80 million
is.
budget, I'm assuming.
Right. Because of the dam that got destroyed earlier, and there's no power. They're trying to get the electrical generators up and running. They have actual candles in like the war room because when the lights do come on, there's like a bunch of people in like extras in the background going on, blowing out candles. Yeah. And we get to meet Jim's parents, who's his mom, I can only assume, was the inspiration of every Gary Larson woman in history. She looks like a character straight out of The Far Side. Big beehive hair, cat glasses, and just a tube dress.
And much like Gary Larson, she said something and I didn't get it for about 2 days. And then when I got it, I laughed hard.
Oh, Jim! Oh, Jim! Because at this point, they've communicated with the boys that, hey, the aliens say that we can't attack. If we attack them, if we destroy the ship or we attack the ship, they'll kill you. And the two boys make this selfless sacrifice. The only good thing that happens in this movie, as far as the humans go, where they're like, do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Yeah. These brave boys thinking about the planet above themselves. And of course, the UN, as always, just pusses out and says, we can't attack the aliens because we can't. Yeah, 2 kids for the entire planet. We can't make that trade.
And let me just get on my soapbox for a bit here. This has always been my problem with the United Nations. Their policy on child murder. Like, come on, guys. It's 2 children. Just do it for the good of the country, for the good of the world.
Right, you think about it, your hands will be clean because it's the aliens who will actually kill them, not you.
Yeah. The United Nations has intervened in so many issues in the world, and it's like, we get it. You don't like killing children. Whatever. Get off your high horse.
We get some more black and white camera. The boys get this idea that if they free the monster
Ew.
that they discovered earlier, that the monster will help them escape, not only escape the aliens, but also defeat them. How again, like you said before, how do they trust this alien?
I'll tell you. They literally say it. He nodded at us. He must want to help us. That's literally what they said earlier. And I said, again, I come back to this. How are they alive? How did they make it out of the womb? Is my first question.
Misao, look. It nodded its head. Then it's all right. It means that the monster knows everything we're saying. And it also means that he might try to help us get out. Sure, let's go.
All right, so the kids, they ruse, they play a ruse on the line cooks of the dam to say that the monster is loose, to get all the other aliens to go to the master control room to make sure that the monster is not on the loose. Although I don't know why they do that if the whole thing that happens later is actually they know that this alien is the Viras monster that they're going to use. Fine. The line cooks of the damned, they're dumb too. They go and they check it out. The kids then immediately start asking the ship for access to controls of the ship, with the full intention of switching them around so they can, 1, destroy the mind control of Gamera, and 2, use the super catch ray in reverse to be beamed back down to the ship, which then calls into question the explanation earlier from one of the line cooks where they said, if any of your thoughts are actually designed to do damage to the ship or hinder our mission, the ship won't let you do it. But the ship then just, here are the controls, kids. Start fiddling around with things.
Like, I'm pretty sure taking over the controls of the enemy ship is one of the definitions of something that you could do to harm them.
Yeah, exactly. And but hey, it does it, and they do that, and they change the direction. I guess they change the positive and the negative on the alien ship, so that the super catch ray sends them back to Earth. This, of course, destroys that super awesome Rastafarian hat that Gamera had. He's no longer under mind control. He gets to attack the ship, and this is where we find out the twist, where the giant squid monster on the alien ship isn't an ally, and says that he needs all of their help to in order for him to, I guess, get to the appropriate size. He kills all the line cooks of the dam.
Yes, the best.
Sticks his tentacles up their asses hentai style and absorbs them all.
When he kills them, that is the best special effect in the movie. Because it's like all in like silhouette. And it's like clearly the fakest mannequins they could find. And like he just decapitates them in one fell swoop. I'm actually surprised with how violent that was.
I was,
because this is essentially a movie for children.
Yeah, and I think that I think it's probably the most violent thing that happens in any of the game movies when you get right down to it.
Yeah, I think in all the movies I've seen anyway, most of the deaths have been off screen or very like tame.
Just implied. Like I remember the guy from Gamera versus Iris, where he was like, "Oh man, this is so cool," and then he was squished.
But you don't see
him get squished. You just see the camera coming down at his face.
Right.
Like that's the foot that's going to squish him, and then you don't see it.
I mean, make no mistake.
These guys get literally decapitated on screen in front of everybody.
I mean, make no mistake. It's the cheapest looking thing ever, but it's still implied that it's still the violence implied is crazy.
Yep.
And yeah, this thing just keeps growing because of hentai, like you said.
Yes, and
giant fucking octopus.
Basically, this is where the kids kind of figure what's going on too. That the people on the ship weren't actually aliens. They were taken over, I guess, a la The Thing, and they're worn like people suits. And so I guess that calls into question: is the squid, is that actually Viras, or is it that type of animal that'd been taken over by the Viras aliens.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could have been like a squid that they caught, but
Right. But let's not think about that too much. There's the part where the squid is kind of growing and the he's absorbing these beings. Now, they go from being like people to like little versions of Viras, and they walk towards Viras as he absorbs them and grows bigger. I was almost expecting a musical number, just the way that they were walking.
I was one, now we're one together. I actually thought he had his color started to change, and he started to look like the same color. You know that scene in E.T. where he's dying?
Yeah,
like that. And he had the...
Well, it's because that effect was done with them basically doing like animation cells over top, like, and so I mean it like there's a points where the squid is growing, and you can see stuff through the squid.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get the chroma key right on these scenes.
He also had a similar face to Sam the Eagle.
Yes, it's got that beak going on. Yeah.
So I was just calling him White Snake the whole movie at this point.
Okay.
Well, it's the fight now, I think.
So this is the fight. Yeah, we get some good stuff actually. I was, again, as always with any of these movies, I was wishing that Jim Ross was calling the action, or at the very least, Joey Styles. Oh my God!
Gamera, those boobs don't belong to you.
Viras, for some reason, turns into a butt plug at one point.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like he's got this weird head that opens up like a tulip or something, but when he goes into like fight mode, it seals up so he can use it like a drill.
Oh shit.
And it really just looks like a squid butt plug.
Do you think it seals up, but then when he puts it in Gamera it opens up?
Like a pair of agony?
My notes from this fight are like boobs, fire, Gamera poop ? Pool noodle bitch slaps.
Well, yes, because when they're fighting, the tentacles are flopping all over the place, and he manages to grab him and he's and then Viras gets free and he like smacks Gamera, like just slaps him.
Yeah.
That's probably the pool noodle part that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, and it had the sound effects too. It was just like whoosh, whoosh. It's great.
They fight.
They fight
on the beaches.
They
fight in the air. They fight in the sea. They never surrender.
They never do.
They go underwater, and at one point during the fight, and then Gamera grabs Viras in a very suggestive way, and then proceeds to drive Viras towards the beach in an even more suggestive way. So much so that I have noted here, Gamera, there are children present.
Yeah, you can't be a friend to all children and expose them to this depravity.
Right? Luckily, though, Viras manages to put a stop to this whole thing. He manages to grab he grabs like a rock or something, and Gamera goes flying off and is thrown free of Viras and gets hurt for a second. I was like, that's what rapists get, Gamera.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't care if it was a giant space squid that you were raping. That's what rapists get.
Yeah, it's not cool to rape anyone. The more you know.
Right.
I would like someone for just to come on TV and just quickly say, it's not cool to rape anyone, guys. Come on. That's it.
Sounds like a Norm Macdonald, Burt Reynolds PSA.
I was thinking it's like some celebrity who had to do like community service, and he just was like, okay, it's not cool to rape anyone. Cool. Am I free now?
And the more you know.
Yeah. Oh, do. There we go. I'm done. Now, can I go back home?
All right. So, okay. In his play for this victory, Gamera again grabs a hold of Viras And not unlike the I think it was the third one, Gamera decides to go shoot rocketing straight up into the stratosphere with Viras, who was apparently prone to freezing. Gamera, not so much.
No, he got cold real fast.
Yeah. And then delivers like the most devastating pile driver ever seen in Japan.
Yeah.
And everybody's reacting like that's it. Gamera has defeated Viras. I don't see a body. Show me a body.
That's why they're going to do the sequel 54 years later.
Okay. thought you were going to say 50 Shades of Viras.
I am. Well, no, I guess it'd be 50 Shades of Gamera after that thing after that stunt he pulled.
Right? So everyone, kind of celebrates. The boys are safe. They're gonna get to have supper and bye, Gamera, because that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Bye, Dai.
Bye, Dai. So, yeah, that's Gamera versus Viras, and I mean, I'm biased, so I'm gonna ask you first on our scale of worth the watch, drunk watch with friends, head trauma to forget it, or avoid like the plague. What are you gonna put this one at, Brendan?
I think it's a pretty clear drunk watch for me. It's I think I feel like I know we haven't been doing this rating scale since we started, but I feel like the older Gameras are mostly under drunk watch for me, and I feel like the newer ones are closer to something that's like worth a watch. Just because I feel like they're trying to be a genuine movie, but also being like fun at the same time.
I would actually tend to agree, with the exception of Gamera versus Gauss. I legitimately like Gamera versus Gauss. So, and Baragon's pretty good too. Well, maybe we'll do that one next year, or in 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta go back to a modern one next year.
We certainly do. So there we go, guys. That's what we had to say about.
Wait, what was yours?
Gamera
Was yours also drunk watch or worth the watch?
Oh, mine was a drunk watch with friends. Yeah, no, for sure, because it's fun. But ultimately, there's just so much ridiculous shit going on in this movie.
I mean,
it's
mostly other movies. Let's just.
That's also a fair thing to say too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to take a break, pay some bills, keep the lights on, that sort of stuff. But don't go away. I mean, why would you go away? It's a podcast. I mean, you're gonna listen to it right at the end, anyways. But we'll be right back.
I just like the idea of someone like putting their phone down and going to the bathroom and not pausing it.
Oh my God! Get back! It's back on!
Oh no, there were no ads this week.
What were they thinking?
And we're back.
Back.
Oh, I don't know what that sort of production and effect would fly at NPR. It seems something more for the zoo crew in the morning on K-Rock.
Would it be okay or advisable to say that Backstreet's back? All right.
No.
Oh.
But we are, and it's time now for the low haiku.
Yes.
In the low haiku, Brendan, would you be so kind as to explain to our delightful listeners, in case this may be their first episode listening to What Were They Thinking, as to what exactly the low haiku is?
Well, if this is your first episode, welcome. The low haiku, I'm sure some of you know of the poetry haiku. It is 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables, 17 in total. And our low haiku sums up the movie we just described in more than 17 syllables.
And would you like to lead off this week?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I would like to.
Okay.
Gamera versus Dead ET-esque octopus. Sacrifice the kids.
Very good. A message of, for the greater good. Very good. Very good.
Right. Just it's like 2 versus 1,000, like you said.
It's more than 1,000. I mean, it's
no.
the
I
world
believe
when you
the
get right
world's
down to it.
population in 1968 was 1,200.
Okay.
Yeah. Look it
Well,
up.
and so 200 adults and 1,000 kids.
Yes. I do my own research.
Okay. Well, that's it's important. A lot of people are doing that these
This
days.
is really the
I
best
will,
way.
Right. I will go ahead with my low haiku.
Mm-hmm.
Our hero turtle, fighting outer space kraken. Here's ink in your eye.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you. Now we're just gonna pull back and get on. Gonna get on, out. All these worried, troubled thoughts gonna get on out of my head. So get on out of my head, out of my head. I don't know. You're not a Soul Asylum fan? You don't like what? Thank you, Gauss. I see Gauss knows what Soul Asylum's all
Well,
about.
of course he does. He's still isolating. Gauss is scared.
All right. Well,
He doesn't do his own
what?
research. Sorry.
He did. We talked about it for an hour or so. We gave our thoughts. We waxed poetic and everything on it. But you know what? We don't like to, tell you guys exactly, what to think or what to do. In fact, we've actually been known to say something quite often around this here podcast. And what is that thing, Brendan?
Well, that thing that we like to say is...
Don't take a word for us.
That's right. Don't take our word for it. Although I think you're safe in doing so.
Yeah,
But
probably.
Regardless, we're gonna get into the Rotten Tomatoes and Brendan, did the critics have anything to say about this movie?
One of them did, which...
So we got like a no consensus.
No consensus.
Essentially.
No consensus at all. But maybe I'll just read this real quick because it's one critic.
Okay,
from
go right ahead.
Tim Brayton of Antagony and Ecstasy. This is apparently a fresh review. Has just enough warped silliness that it's fun bad and not simply bad. This fresh review, by the way, is a 4 out of 10.
So not even a consensus between one critic.
No. I think some programmer lost his job over this one, I hope.
So okay. But the audience, I mean, there's got to be some consensus with the audience.
Yeah, a
'Cause
strong...
If the internet has shown us anything, is that people like to give their opinions on the internet.
Well, there is a strong quarter of the people that watched this that liked it because it's got old 26%.
That's fair. I guess maybe.
All right.
It's no Gamera versus Gauss,
But I will
or
tell you-
even Baragon. Baragon's good.
Well, I will tell you, Nathan, that if you liked this movie, which I know you'd enjoyed, you might also like the not Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Lionheart, Cosmos War of the Planets, Invasion of the Neptune Man, Yog Monster from Space, and of
Yog
course,
Queen.
and of course, Space Raiders
I think if I've seen Space Raiders
of the Lost Ark.
I have not. I don't think I've seen any of those.
And they are all no critics reviews whatsoever and all rotten.
Yeah. So yeah.
There you go. So audience
All right,
reviews,
well, let's just jump right into that,
All right.
if we could.
Well, let's start out with a reviewer who calls himself DC, but I think when I read this review, you'll know what it is. For all my reviews, visit my website, idacashmansmoviereviews.web.com. Please note that the rating above is possibly skewed by the ratings on this specific site. There might be a slightly different rating at the end. Interior, December 16th, 2010, 10 a.m. Cashman finishes War of the Monsters and then does a review. He then goes out to his car. He comes back to find Gamera versus Gauss has been stolen. Cashman, shoot! I hope not too much important stuff happened in GVG. Cashman watches Destroy All Planets. Cashman, what did I miss? 3.3 out of 5. There's a lot more, but I'm not reading it.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lengthy review.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, my first review comes from Aaron C. I can only say it's Aaron Carter.
Of course.
And he writes, of the original Gamera films, this movie started the series' downhill slide. 3 out of stars.
Downhill slide. 6 out of 10. All right. Okay, from Anthony C. I can only assume is I don't know. Do we know an Anthony C?
No, that's a K. I was gonna say Anthony Kiedis, but that's a K.
But you know what? It's probably a way to hide himself. So it's probably Anthony Kiedis. He says, hockey and unintendedly funny. Viras is one of the weirdest monsters ever. 3 stars.
3 out of stars. Okay. Hockey. Yeah. Okay. So Anders K. He writes, Lilleperma de Godzilla og Resilitant undeniable. I don't know that language, but he gave it 3 out of stars.
Well, he must be friends with Sart P, because Sart P says, Man trange ber se an Gamera film denna. Hele midpartiet ha I de punkter fra andre Gamera filmer 5 floor I en smek altså.
Wow, that took a turn at the end.
I didn't. I mean, he's canceled.
Okay, well, my next one comes from Jeremy R. I can only assume it's Jeremy Renner.
Okay. He says, get my app.
And he writes, pretty bad, even for a Daikaiju movie standards. Too much stock footage, but it has a sweet monster battle at the end. Hashtag Hawkeye doesn't suck.
Hawkeye is awesome. I don't care what anyone says. New series coming out soon. Oh, look at this. A review left by Cheyenne.
What did my daughter have to say about this?
Well, she's going under pseudonym Cheyenne F.
Okay.
But she says...
well, the S and the F are real close to each other on the keyboard, so she might have just...
It's true.
It might be a typo.
It's true.
Typo.
Yeah, I think you're right. Cheyenne says, I haven't seen this, but I have seen something like it. 3.5 stars.
That's fair.
That's like if I went on and the new Batman movie comes out and I'm like, well, I've seen the Tim Burton one, so I don't know, 4 stars.
Okay. Well, my next review comes from Lucy Y, and she simply writes, "Destroy all planets." 4.5 out of stars.
Wow. All right. Let's see.
Does that count as a review? You just quote the title and then give it a star rating?
Yeah. Master and Commander of the Far Side of the World. 4 stars. All right. This will be my last one. This is from Danielle S., who I can only assume is author Danielle Steele.
Okay.
She says, Gamera loves the little children, just like Mr. T. 3 stars.
Okay.
Didn't know that was a thing, but that's fine. Maybe from the cartoons on SNL.
Oh, actually, no, there was a Mr. T cartoon.
Right.
Way back in the day. Yep. Okay, well, I guess then my last one is going to come from a fellow by the name of Joel A. Joel Apple, cousin of Tim Apple. And he writes...
Oh, right. I was going to say, who the fuck is Tim Apple? But I remember now.
An undeniably cheesy and illogical 4th installment in the children-friendly Japanese monster movie series Gamera. This time around, Gamera is fighting an alien spaceship that looks like a kid's toy then dukes it out with a 40-story squid. I remember watching this on the foreign movie channel when I was 12, and it seemed cool. Well, it's not, but it's that bad. It's fun. Made for mindless entertainment, but it's no Godzilla. 2 out of stars. Rotten hell, Joel A.
I feel like I was in Joel A's twisted brain for a second there.
So there we go. That's what
go.
the critics have to say. If you want to give me a second, our simian pal is waiting in the green room to have his say. Just 1 second. Hello, it's good friend Montrose Monkington III here, and I will say this: that the only really grand giant monster movie that I've ever really seen and enjoyed would have to be Kong Skull Island, and that is as good as Godzilla versus. That's all I've seen. Godzilla versus Kong and Kong Skull Island. That's it. But you can see what I have to say about the wrestling over on my YouTube channel, Montrose Monkington TV. You can also be friends with me on Facebook in the Facebook group Montrose Monkington III Esquire and Friends. And you can also tweet at me on your Twitter devices at Montrose III. That's the number 3RD. Thank you. More later.
Thank you, Montrose.
You're welcome.
Speaking of better movies that Montrose talked about, Nathan, do you have a segment you like to do around this time?
I do, actually, and it's the latest dance craze that's sweeping the nation. It's what you watching, bud?
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask about my wet ass pussy.
Nope. What you watching, bud?
Oh, I'm just catching that song now. I'm a little behind.
WWB. What you watching, bud?
Oh, so
you're
the whoop 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 whoop. What you watching, bud? Doesn't have the same flow. Again, guys, I got a couple more.
Bud? See, it's about there.
I got a couple more horror movies coming down the pike because I have another horror movie to recommend. Although this is an older one from way back in 2015. No, I'm just joking. It's from 1955. This is a movie called Diabolique. It is a film about it's not diabolic. It's not the spy movie from Mystery Science Theater. Let's just put that out there now. No, it's about a school. This guy, he's kind of a tyrant. He's not super nice to his wife, and the wife is convinced by her husband's mistress, by the way, openly his mistress, that they should maybe do away with him. They should maybe kill him. So they do, spoiler alert, although that's in like the first, that's the premise of the movie. And then the rest of the movie is they're just like kind of like a little paranoid, like people have claimed to see him. They put his body somewhere at the beginning and then suddenly it's not there anymore. And it's a really good it's really good. It's got lots of tension and suspense and yeah, it's really good. I feel like a lot of movies have taken this plot after. But this is I believe this is one of the early ones, so check it out. Diabolique.
Okay. As for me, I actually
what you watching, bud?
Oh, I actually got to check out one of the newer Blumhouse entries for Prime. Welcome to the Blumhouse or whatever is that series that they're doing for Prime, and there was one that I watched. They just recently released called Bingo Hell. Play on the term Bingo Hall, actually. And in this movie, a small town's bingo hall gets brought out by a very nefarious character who has all these big money prizes for this such a small town, So one of the folks is like, something's up with this guy. Why is he giving away, tens of thousands of dollars at a bingo hall in a town that has maybe 50 people living in it? Think of like Needful Things, but for the bingo community. That's what's going on with this one. And the little old lady who says that she figures something's up with this guy. She goes on a tear and starts kicking some ass. It's a pretty fun Blumhouse ride. I do recommend checking that out on if you have Prime Video. Bingo Hell.
I think you're gonna tell me I was worried the twist was gonna be that the nefarious things they were doing is funneling that money to the Republican Party. Ooh. Spooky.
Terrifying.
4 more years.
So yeah, I guess that's what we've been watching. Brandon, you got this whole pimping thing down. You've actually for you easy. It's easy actually for you because you got it down pat. So why don't you tell the folks all about our socials and places that they can find us?
Well, don't find us in person. I mean, if you see us in person, that's cool, but don't look for us. That's kind of creepy.
Especially that time you worked at the theater and somebody just came there and stood and waited for you.
Because he couldn't separate wrestling from reality. Yeah, that was an odd time in my life. So yeah, we are out there. We are on the social media. We're on the Facebook and we're on the Twitter and the Instagrams at WWTT Podcast. You can also find us on Patreon and Redbubble and TeePublic. Just search for What Were They Thinking? You will find us. And then of course, you're obviously listening to this on something, but you have many choices. We're on basically any podcast app you go on, you will find us on there. I'm sure of it. Age of Radio does their doggonest to get us on everything that plays an audio podcast. So you can also go to ageofradio.org.
Big time!
And find us there as well. Because we are part of that great network. And or ageofradio.org/what were they thinking if you want a direct link. Well, there's lots of other good shows too, so check them out. But I think other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I guess I just have a few questions.
Okay, well, you know what? I will do my damnedest to answer them.
Oh, wait, you know what, Nathan? And as per tradition, because it's a Gamera movie, someone else wants to ask them. Just a second.
Okay, all right. Oh, Gauss, yes. Well, okay. Well, I'll answer your questions. Go ahead. Right, in the movie. Look, you can't be in every Gamera movie, Gauss. Yes, right. They used you in archival footage. I'm assuming you got paid scale for that, didn't you? Yeah, right. So what do you expect? You're getting scale for this because you were, yes, scales on your back. I get it. You're a leathery bat pterodactyl, but you got that. And so it's perfectly fine. I mean, you were included. I mean, you weren't the feature. I mean, you think about it. You were in 3 Gamera movies in a row. I mean, it's not our fault that they spray painted you silver for the next one. Right? I'm sure if you talk to Buddy Ebsen about it, because he had the same thing happen to him on The Wizard of Oz, where he got that, skin blood poisoning from the silver paint. I'm sure he'd be able to point you in the right direction. Okay, well, go ahead.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, lose my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. No matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you, and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together.